Welcome to the Explore Podcast. I am Sam Householder, Communications Manager at the Elkhart Public Library. With me, as always, is Trevor our Chief Marketing Officer. And today we are joined by Jordan Bronke, the Circulation Assistant Manager here at the Downtown Library. Welcome, Jordan.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for having me on today.
You're welcome.
And how long have you been here at the library?
October will be 4 years.
Okay. And in that time, you've taken on about 4 different jobs, right? So you wear a lot of hats around here.
Sure do. It's been fun. I wouldn't say that I was unconfident in my professional abilities before I got here, but getting the job really just kind of solidified that in me. And the growth professionally and personally has been immense. So I'm really grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what else do you do in addition to assistant managing Circ?
Sure. So I also am part-time in HR. So I spend about 10 hours up with Nathan, just kind of helping him onboard and offboard people, do a lot of the back-end stuff, and also interact with the employees on behalf of him sometimes. So yeah, it's been nice.
Okay. And what do you like about being down here in Circulation? I think a lot of people, our viewers and regulars to the Downtown Library, will recognize you. And
Absolutely. My favorite part is interacting with patrons. I came from a just front-facing position before this and really developed my skills there that got me the job here. And it really is interacting with the different people on the daily that keeps me going. Even just with simple stuff like helping them print things, telling them where they need to go for a certain paperwork they need signed or whatnot. Just kind of helping them with those everyday life tasks. And it's nice because their gratitude is kind of like my payment, I suppose.
Did you ever think you'd end up at a library?
No, which is like the huge thing because, like I said, the job I had before this, I used to be a general manager of a acupuncture clinic.
Wow.
So very kind of high-end type of clientele. So it was a little bit of a culture shock coming here to be just more like general public, but still love it. But I'm sorry. Tell me your question one more time. Sorry.
Did you ever think you'd end up at a library?
Yes. So when I applied for the job, I was like, wow, this is like a really cool opportunity. But I also knew that it was a government adjacent type job. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get this. And I was super surprised when they called me for an interview. And it was even more surprised when Debbie called me back just like a couple weeks later. So I was really grateful.
Were you tired of needling people at the acupuncture place? Is that?
I did not place the needles. I am not qualified to do that, but definitely helped on the back end for everything.
Does acupuncture work? I've never.
It does.
Is it awesome?
It is. So, like, if you're afraid of needles, it probably isn't awesome. But for anybody who is, I would say that you don't feel the majority of them going in because the needles are very thin. Not to even go off on like a soapbox, but I do genuinely believe in its benefits. So if you're curious about it, definitely book a consultation because it can help with a lot of stuff.
Are there books about it at the library?
Yes. Good question. But yes.
And you said, so the one fit you did have coming here, you said you enjoy reading, obviously, and you're in school right now.
Yes.
So what are you majoring in and what are you reading right now?
Yeah, so I am a political science major at IU East right now. It's all online, so that's why my home campus is IU East. None of my core classes were offered at the times that I could make at IUSB, so that's why. I will say that I'm really pleased with IU's online presence. I was kind of worried about that like social aspect of being in school again as an adult learner, and like I said, I'm very pleased with how communicative and involved the professors are, and they really do encourage communication and dialogue between students online as well, so that's been great.
You probably get enough social interaction at work, though, right?
I do. But, you know, it's kind of nice to bounce ideas off of peers for like papers and assignments and stuff. And I still get that online. So it's nice to have the best of both worlds with that, with the flexibility of online learning.
Yeah. You strike me as a social person, and not everybody who works at the library is.
Yeah.
But is that why you're uniquely qualified for Circ, you feel like?
I would say so, yes. I'm definitely, a social person, but I'm just like good with people. Like I feel like adept at steering conversations the way they need to be. But I will say that as social as I am, my battery, once it's dead, it's dead. Like I go home, put my phone away and just recharge. So it's kind of funny. My spouse, like when we're out and about in social situations, she's like, I can tell when your battery dies because it's like a switch. My face is just, all right, we need to go home. It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way to recharge?
I spend time at home with my animals. I try to stay off screens. It's nice to like write for personal reasons or like scroll to catch up with my friends on social media, but really just curling up at home with my dogs cuddling me and a good book is a nice way to recharge for me.
How many dogs do you have?
I have 2 dogs.
What kind?
I have a corgi and a boxer.
Oh.
Yes, they keep us on
That
our
is an odd
toes.
couple.
Okay. So my spouse had the boxer when we got together, and I had Coco, our corgi. And it was like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first met Tippy, our boxer, I was like, I don't know about this dog. She's a lot. And then just once we meshed the households with the corgi too, I was like, oh my gosh, they're so cute. Stop that.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which leads me into your other question about what I'm reading right now. So I don't read too much for pleasure currently just because I'm so involved with school and like my textbooks and things. But I did find a graphic nonfiction book that I'm reading. It's called Electric Life, The Radiance of Everything by Sander Brenneman. And it talks about how everything in our world, not just like some things like humans, plants, planets, like everything in our world is powered by magnetism and electricity. And it kind of breaks up little sections, like case studies pretty much on that idea. And it's fascinating. Coming from a yoga background and kind of like a holistic, it was just kind of like a validation of things I sort of knew intuitively, but seeing that it has like scientific backed facts about it is really awesome. So I hope that book kind of helps bring that research more to the forefront.
Sounds heavy.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
and
is
it
that really the
isn't.
book you want to unwind with? Just
Listen, I'm weird, okay? Like, I'm not like, okay, I do enjoy some fiction. Like, it's got to be really good fiction. But, like, you were talking to me what my favorite book is, and it's a very politically charged book. And I'm like, I just can't read fluff because I'm just like, there's so much going on out there that I just want to know everything about everything. But at the same time, I know that people do read fluff to escape from all of that.
Right.
And I cannot judge them for that because I feel them. So, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the other things you're doing is the Leadership Academy through the Greater Elkhart Chamber of Commerce. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah. So for those who don't know about the Leadership Academy that the Chamber puts on, it is a 10-month program. Various organizations in our community select people to send, and it's essentially a leadership growing opportunity. Every month we have a meeting with our big cohort, learning about different aspects of leadership skills like servant leadership, just finding your personal values, what you stand for as not just a leader but as a person, and how that correlates into your relationships at work and personally. So that's once a month, but then we have a smaller impact team. So the bigger cohort's like 30 people, give or take, but the smaller impact teams are anywhere between like 6 and 8 people. And early on in the program, we choose a nonprofit to work with on like a smaller project. And my group this year chose CareerWise to work with. I was really happy that our group chose that because they are the region's leader in youth apprenticeships. Now, I'll talk more about that in just a second, but I was really glad that we chose them because when I was graduating high school, I went straight into college because that was just what you did. Like, no one really told you that you had any other option. And if you didn't go to college, you were like, oh, like, So it's really awesome that stigma is starting to break and kids are being shown that, like, if college isn't calling to you, that's fine. And it also retains our talent in the area. So people aren't moving to like bigger cities to find work, So CareerWise itself, they are, like I said, the region's leader in youth apprenticeships, which are distinct from internships because internships are short-term, one-off, you go work for this company and then you're gone. But apprenticeships specifically, they want to start them young because they want to create a talent pipeline. So it's a long-term goal. And on the business side, it's an investment into their workforce versus just hiring off the street or through a talent agency. So it really benefits everybody because, especially with the new diploma requirements that students have in the state, so it's helping them get those work hours. It's helping the schools fill that. It's helping the parents because, say they have a child that's not bound for college, what do we do with this? And then it helps the business side, like I said, with their financials and their talent pipeline. So it's a win-win for everybody. And with our group, CareerWise really needed some help with their branding and their online presence. So we decided to help them take that on. But also the biggest issue they were running into is they have all of these apprentices that want to do this work, really strong students, good candidates, but they don't have enough business partners, apprenticeship spots to fill those. So that's what we're helping them with. And mainly we're doing that by creating a podcast. So this is kind of cool practice for me because I'll be kind of co-hosting the podcast with them.
Nice.
With the goal of signing on more business partners for that. So really long-winded way to answer your question, but lots of really cool stuff going on.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best takeaway so far from Leadership Academy? What was something that you didn't know you were going to get when you walked in the door?
Totally. Besides the really meaningful work for the kids with CareerWise, Leadership Academy overall, when I thought about community, I just thought about kind of like my friends, my family, coworkers, the individuals that I surround myself with. But it's so much more than that, especially me being like a political science student. There's so many institutions and organizations that affect your everyday life and how you show up as a leader. So just like being more aware of that and just cognizant of just the systems in place that surround us has really helped me not only be a better leader, but a more informed citizen. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so that wraps up in May, leadership?
Yes, we graduate, I believe it's the 13th of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with your free time?
Oh gosh, that's actually a really good question because I'm in school with I'm in Leadership Academy, so I decided not to take summer classes, maybe a little selfishly because I just turned 29 in February, so I'm like, I'm going to take the last summer of my 20s and just chill. So
yeah, summer.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Yeah, when
awesome.
I'm almost 30. But in my free time, I have a whole stack of personal books that I want to read. I want to read Pete Buttigieg's book. I have a bunch of other memoirs that are on my list. So I'm going to be relaxing and going to the beach as much as I can this summer.
That's
Which,
awesome.
which one of Mara Pete's books?
Shortest Way Home.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
That's a good one because, having grown up there too.
Yeah.
And knowing just how familiar that backstory is. Yeah.
I regret to say that I'm just not as familiar with his backstory. I thought about reading Chasten's book as well. So I just plan to read all of those that I haven't had time for this semester. So, yeah.
Nice.
And you grew up here in
I did.
in South Bend or Elkhart?
Born and raised in Elkhart.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I literally live just down the road from the hospital that I was born at. So I did move to South Bend, Mishawaka when I was working at the acupuncture clinic for a few years. But when my spouse and I got together, we moved back to Elkhart. So, yep, hometown advantage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so what have you learned about the Elkhart community through, I guess as an adult in that transition from, this is where I grew up to now this is where I make my home, this is where I work, and then obviously being involved in Leadership Academy and stuff?
Yeah, really good question because growing up, and I still think that this attitude is very common among the younger people that live and go to school here. It was always an attitude is oh, this is Elkhart, embarrassed to say I'm from this town. There was a way that we used to describe Elkhart with the way that it rhymed with another word. And it was just always like this mindset of this town that I'm going to eventually move out of. Like, I'm not going to stay here. It wasn't until I started working here and participating more in leadership things that I realized that this region, not just Elkhart, but like Goshen, South Bend, it's got so much potential. Like, not just in like economically. We've got really awesome programs set in place. We're a really unique region, and we just have way more value than was preconceived. So what I've learned is that this is a great place. Like, I can see myself staying here. Obviously my family's here and everything, but oh man, moving to a big city just doesn't seem as appealing like anymore. So just really learned the worth of like my hometown, I would say.
But everybody has stuff they would change. So what's
obviously.
one thing, just one thing, that if Jordan ruled the world,
Oh, gosh.
what would it be?
I don't think that anybody should have to struggle to put food in their tummies or to have a roof over their head. Now, I know that's a super loaded answer because there's, like I mentioned, so many systems. It's a systemic issue. There would have to be multi-pronged solutions to this. But I don't think anybody should have to struggle for those basic necessities. So very short answer to keep it concise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for thinking of the viewers.
Yeah.
And what's like your favorite local restaurant?
Ooh, you're speaking my language because I'm a big foodie. Oh man, local restaurant. It's too hard to choose just one, but I will say that so my spouse and I's birthdays are within 4 days of each other, so we decided we wanted to get fancy and go to Amici here off East
okay.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Nice.
So my spouse is a very picky eater, so she really likes Italian food. So I was like, win-win. We've got stuff that she likes, and honestly, even though it's a higher end restaurant, I was very impressed with the price point. The food, the service, the price point, the ambiance, everything was amazing. So we're counting down the days when we go back. So can't rave about that place enough.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, I took my wife there for her birthday last year, and
Yeah.
we've been wanting to go back as well.
So-
Hard to find something for our little one, but the next
true.
time we get a solo date night, we're gonna.
Yeah. You guys deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite local business?
Local business. Any yoga studio or just holistic place or bookshops, like independent bookshops, I feel like are really struggling in this day and age of like digitization and just the political climate. So go buy a book from your local bookshop or go take a yoga class or meditate somewhere. Just find your zen. Yeah.
I think that's the first time that we really connected was when we had Kathy Burnett from
Yeah.
Bring Their Books.
Yeah.
And you guys came to that breakfast
Oh my
event.
gosh.
and-
Kathy's so cool. Yeah. My spouse came to that breakfast as well because she knows Kathy from like the South Bend community. And when I saw that Kathy was the keynote speaker, I was like, oh yeah, I am there. So Brain Lair Books in South Bend, check them out. They've got some really cool stuff.
She does.
Yeah.
Nice. And what's your favorite library event?
Library event, curbside concert.
I was gonna say,
Easily.
we've seen you come
That's
out.
good because you wouldn't be invited back if you didn't give that answer.
Yes, so definitely curbside concerts because I've been working there, the concerts for the past 3-4 years now. Well, this will be my 4th year, and it's just cool to see everybody just kind of letting loose. The smell of the barbecue ribs is wafted through the air. We got John over there slinging beers, so it's cool. It's just a fun time, and plus, not to mention like the local talent, music wise, is amazing. Like I don't know where you guys source these bands, but they are awesome. So
They all come right out of my head. Who's been your favorite?
oh gosh, High Gravity. But who was the one last year? It was all like wind instruments. I can't remember.
Tumbleweed Jumper?
Yes. They had just like reassembled after taking like a hiatus. Oh my gosh, they are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Love
a lot
them.
of fun.
Obviously, curbside concerts will be back on May 22nd, right? And
Yes.
so stay tuned to the website for the lineup
Definitely.
and more information. We're not quite
Coming someday when the contracts are returned.
Yeah.
Oh, I
We're not
see.
ready to announce names yet, but we do know May 22nd is when we'll be back for the next season. So looking forward to that in sunnier weather as we approach the first day of spring here, and it's still
Yes.
snowing. So
We love that.
We're already dreaming about summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, was there anything else locally you want to highlight to get back to this theme we have of loving your community and where you live?
For sure. If you are ever concerned about how to get involved, like if you feel a call to just do something more or deeper, I really recommend volunteering your time for some cause that means something to you. And Elkhart County, just Elkhart County, but the region in general has some really good opportunities for, if you like animals, you can volunteer at the Humane Society. One Leadership Academy day, we volunteered at Cultivate Food Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
That was an incredible experience because, one, this food is going to kids who need it for the weekend because they only eat at school, so they need food for the weekend. And it's kind of like assembly line style packaging of the food, but you're across like the table from somebody that you may or may not know, and there was just nothing more bonding and like community building than just like being there. They got music playing and you're packaging this food for needy kids, and it was just really powerful and impactful. So I genuinely think that if more people did those in-person, face-to-face interactions, donating your time for something greater than you, it will really help to disperse that divisive energy that permeates our society all the time. So
yeah, that's actually going to be one of our keynote speeches at our employee training day that's coming up on Friday, April 24th. Library will be closed, everybody, for Friday, April 24th.
We are closed that day.
But Ashley Jordan from Access Service is going to talk to us just about that idea of giving your time and what you get out of it.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be a really good one for us to kind of hear is, you know, we do customer service all the time, and this is a different way of serving.
Oh, absolutely. I can't recommend it enough. I'm actually trying to get a little group of library people too, because it can count towards our community engagement hours, to go there and volunteer with Cultivate. But like I said, if you're not into food or animals, there's so many other places you could do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the other things you do here, speaking of organizing things for staff, like you are on our fun committee.
Yes.
I know last month we had Melissa on, who's also a part of that, but you're really kind of the face of the fun committee. So, you know, why did you step up for that? And why do you feel it's important to make work more fun?
Absolutely. This ties beautifully into everything that we've been talking about because, you know, what's our mission and vision statement here? It's based in communities. So the library is helping our communities grow informed, empowered, inspired, connected. But that starts within our internal community, right? So when I first started here 4 years ago, there was just a big like culture gap between the downtown branch and then the satellite branches, the people there. And they just felt like they were in a whole league of their own. They were just kind of off there, and that was a little demoralizing to me because I'm like, these people are our arms, like our appendages. We really need to reconnect them to downtown. So when the idea for a fun committee came up, I was like volunteering. I didn't know that I was going to be in a leadership position, but I was like, no, like I feel like I have some good
That's the
ideas.
problem with volunteering.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. But so when we had our initial fun committee meeting, we were just like, all right, guys, who's going to lead us? So 2 of the people were in YPS, so they have programs they do. So they were busy. One person was a manager, and then the other person, it was like their second month working here. So I was like, I guess I'll step up. I'll do that. And I didn't really mind because I felt really passionate about the cause. So that's kind of how I fell into the role. And I will say that since our formation and being active, the culture definitely has improved. We do a staff craft night where we have a night at a different branch each time, and we just sit and just do a craft and eat some snacks and just mingle with our coworkers. And that has really kind of allowed us to get to know the people that work at the branches too, because pretty much everyone who works here downtown knows each other. But there are people working at the branches that people here were just like, who are you again? Like, you know, and we're not like a gigantic organization either. So it's not unreasonable to think that everybody should know everybody, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No. And, you guys do spirit days as well. And you're organizing like to my knowledge, first ever like company picnic outing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are some cool things going on. And it does, it brings a little lightness to work, I guess. And it does step up the bonding.
Absolutely. Which I'm so happy to hear you say that, because that's like our main goal and our purpose. We also had the discussion, like, what do we want to call ourselves? Do we want to stay the fun committee? Do we want to have something a little more formal? And I'm like, no, like, it's for fun. We're the fun committee. Yeah. Like Sam mentioned, we do the spirit days. So one day a month, we have like a theme day where you can wear jeans, and then if you match the theme. So a couple Tuesdays ago, it was Dr. Seuss Day. That was fun to see everybody's merch for Dr. Seuss. And then we also do a wellness challenge that's hosted on Microsoft Teams. It's really been fun to just have like a community for accountability, keeping you on track and just cheerleading each other. Yeah.
And book bingo, or EPL bingo, yeah.
Yeah. So Melissa, who you guys had on the last one, she created this wonderful book bingo card, and it's a really fun idea. Like, I can't take credit at all for that, because they came up with it and designed it. So each square is like a different type of book, or book based on some idea, and if you read that book, you like fill in the spot, and then you get like a prize for each bingo that you get. And then if you fill the whole card, there's like a bigger prize. So
how many squares you got?
Oh gosh, 20? Yeah, no, 25, because
no,
I'm
how
pretty
many squares have
I'm just like, oh gosh, you're making me do math, Trevor.
No. I would never do that.
I personally haven't filled any because,
wah.
well, like I told you guys, I don't have a lot of time to read right now.
Yeah.
I guess you could consider like the graphic novel that I'm reading a square, and then there's also like read a children's book.
Yeah.
I found a book across the desk that I thought was interesting the other day that just kind of flipped through, so that could count. So 2.
Yeah. There you
I've
go.
got like 4 or 5. So
Nice. You're beating me. He's like, yeah, I do that.
It's also good because I think that too, something we touched on with Melissa is like it gives you more to recommend to patrons and people. Or do you get asked a lot at CIRC for like book recommendations?
I do, and that actually ties into another thing that we do is the staff book club. It's just a paid hour each month that staff can come on. There's no set reading, but we just talk about whatever we're reading, watching, or listening to, and it's a paid hour because, like you said, we can. Like, I don't read horror, like I don't like scary stuff, but I know that other people are big horror fans, so the stuff that they suggest to me is something that I could suggest to a patron who's looking for horror. So it's kind of nice to just kind of broaden your wheelhouse to be able to present that to the public if they need it.
At Staff Book Club, has anybody came and said, this book was junk, but I'm going to sit here and tell you about it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Like, last year there was this book on Princess Diana that I kind of like went into a rabbit hole about, which I have opinions about that. Way too much for this conversation. But there's
the conspiracy podcast is next week.
Listen, I'll be first guest on that. But there's so much lore surrounding her in that topic in general that the book was just really like fluff. Like, it was nonfiction, but it was like a bunch of stuff that I could have Googled, and I'm like, don't like. When I went to it, I was like, I'm not saying don't read this book, but like, you could find the information just from a quick web search. So there are sometimes books that people are just like, it wasn't the best, but here we are. So yeah.
Well, I think that's all my questions. Do you have anything you want to ask?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you have questions for us?
Well, tell me about how you guys got started here at EPL. What were you guys doing beforehand?
Oh, I actually wasn't expecting you to ask me a question.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So
I'll tell Sam's story if Sam tells mine.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll get your details wrong.
Look at the time. No.
Right. Oh, out of time, guys.
Yeah. No, the quick was I worked at the Elkhart Truth, then before that the Goshen News. I was a photojournalist for roughly 5.5 years in this community.
Okay.
And was just looking to transition out of newspapers, and the opening fit my skill set really well, and it was still serving the public good, I thought. So it was a natural fit, and that's how I started here. And it was about 6 months after his position had been created. So
nice.
Yeah.
Are you from this area?
No, I'm from Illinois. And,
Okay.
And ended up moving here after college. My wife is from Kosciuszko County.
Gotcha.
So
Nice. Nice.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I came here from the learner. I was looking for something a little bit different, a little, community oriented, but not maybe in the idea of selling tickets for shows and that kind of thing. And I was having somewhat regular meetings, I would say, with a person who was assistant director at the time.
Yeah.
And she was super cool, and she just made it sound like it was a fun environment. And and then one day over coffee, it just kind of came up that they were looking for somebody to do marketing. And I was like, I can do that.
Right. I got those skills.
So
yeah.
That's kind of how it all went down.
Nice. I will say that it truly felt like, I know this is getting a little woo-woo, but like I truly felt like this position was like just kind of like divinely like placed. Like I moved back to Elkhart before I started working here, and I started working for like a manufacturing company, and my mental health and like my self-worth really like plummeted because going from, a holistic like yoga space where I felt right at home to coming back to just like a very fast-paced, like draining job, it completely just wore me down. Mm-hmm. So like I was in a pretty sensitive spot when I was like looking for this job. So when I got this, it was just kind of like a sign, like, no, you got this. These skills are needed. Your work is valuable. So it just kind of laid the bedrock for the professional that I am today. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love where you work, people.
Swear, if you can.
If you can. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That'll do it for this episode of the Explore Podcast. Thanks for watching. You can find all our events at myapl.org and everything else we have going on. Follow us on subscribe. Sahib would be upset if I didn't say subscribe and follow YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I think that's all of them. So find us there.
And come downtown. Say hi to Jordan.
Yeah, come say hi to Jordan.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep.